Tuesday. Here we are. Somewhat of a sad day for Philadelphia. It's a happy day, but sad day. Because this is the first day that marks the full day of what? What news came out yesterday? Brady? Jason Kelce retired. That hits hard for me because he has impacted Philadelphia in so many different ways, and I think some of his antics I could do without, but the majority of them, he is a great person to look up to. Family, for his team, for the city. So I just had to have a moment for Jason Kelce's retirement. I was really hoping at that 1 p.m. press conference that he was not going to, but he has. So we'll see how we replace him this upcoming year. So a couple things before we begin our speaker today. It's going to be wet this week. We're going to be outside for recess unless there is a monsoon, which we'll decide at lunch. Part of the reason we haven't gone inside for recess is because there's a lower school class that meets pretty much every day of recess minus Friday. So that's why we don't go inside. It's not that we're avoiding the gym, it's just there's a conflict with the class. The other thing I want to touch on is the musical folks and the tech folks. Yesterday I walked down, I was probably in the room for about 10 minutes, and there was 3 or 4 people by the computers for the tech setup, all engaged. I had no idea what they were doing because it looked incredibly complex. And then the whole cast was going in and out of scenes. There was a part where some of the main people were singing, interacting. It's coming together. And it is taking a long time to get to this point. And I'm sure you're not there yet, but this week is going to be really helpful. So I just want to recognize the tech and musical people for their work, energy, and for approaching that challenge in a positive light, and we can't wait to see that this week. So if you're in there, keep going. You're so close, and it's going to be great. For today's speaker, we have someone new to our community who has brought great energy in his first year. We've all probably experienced the energy that Nick has brought in multiple ways, whether it be in the classroom, on the sports field, at recess. He has great energy. And when we were practicing yesterday, we had a really meaningful conversation that I enjoyed a lot, just about life, why he came to Montgomery, and what he's focusing on to continue to grow on his path, which we'll hear about today. So I asked him a couple questions like I typically do, just to get to know where their head is, to think about what they're thinking about in life. And I think it's a really powerful back and forth with the 8th graders because they are incredibly mature and special people. So I asked him, what is the reason you came to Montgomery? Nick said, for a better education and for more opportunities, which he feels like he is getting here at Montgomery. So I knew this from when he interviewed in the summer, but I wanted to hear it from him because the person in our lives who can have the most impact on us is really us. And Nick saying that and saying, here's why I came here and here was my goal, hearing that from him firsthand is special. So he has a natural ability to think deeply and is a very smart young person with a tremendous amount of potential. In our conversation, I asked him how the year is going and what he's really working on. He said the following: I'm growing in a couple ways. Grammatically, which I thought was good, very specific, working on his grammar. And at points, he said, I'm consistent, and sometimes I'm not. And I'm trying to be more consistent by making myself do it at night. And what he meant by that was his schoolwork rather than on the bus. So I love that Nick talked about what he's working on to become more consistent in the classroom and with his schoolwork. So self-identifying areas of growth is just the beginning of tackling a challenge, and Nick has identified that. So his teachers often remark throughout this year about his natural ability in the classroom, and he knows that in our talk yesterday, he can be more consistent by doing the little things and managing his time outside of school rather than doing that work on the bus, which I was happy to hear. So I'm confident that Nick will continue to grow as a student, and I know, and I'm incredibly hopeful that he will focus on reaching his goals of becoming more consistent, not just athletically, but in all facets of his life, because I know that that's special to him, and he has the natural ability. So I challenge you to continue to go after that, Nick. So he has the tools to become a great role model, not only for himself, but for others. And we felt that impact on others, Nick, this year. So I want you to believe that you not only have the ability, but you are making an impact currently on other people. So some fun ones. I asked him what was the favorite memory. He said the camping trip in the beginning of the year. I said, was that because of the amount of sleep we got, which was a lot, right, Nick? Or was it something else? And he said it was bonding with everyone. And this one was cool to hear. I said, what's one thing you learned this year? Just to be open to learning new things and open to different types of people, which if you look around our community, we have many different types of people with different interests and passions, and I think that what makes this place, Montgomery School, special. So Nick, we are very happy that you joined our community. We want you to believe in the potential that you have and know that you are making an impact on yourself and others, and we're excited to hear your message. So please welcome Nick to the stage.
Thank you, Mr. Reed, for the introduction. Good morning, friends, parents, and teachers. My name is Nick, and my chapel today is about mentality and how it affects your life, and all what goes into mentality and mindset, and what does it do to help you, whether it is problem solving or anything else that could be going on in your life. What is mentality? To me, mentality is your way of thinking, your response to situations that you may have trouble with. It is also how you carry yourself even when things are not going well. On the flip side of this, mentality also plays into when you are winning or finding success. One can stop and be satisfied with winning or the success they find. What I have learned from athletes or people that I look up to is for one, to continue growing. They need to push themselves regardless of winning or losing. To grow and better yourself consistently is a choice, and it is not always an easy mindset to do. But it is a mentality that I believe in. I think your mentality can have a trait or multiple, such as discipline, adaptability, relentlessness, growth-seeking, and traits like those that you may have that could affect your mentality and how you approach challenges and obstacles in your life. An example of this was me going down to Florida for football. In the 2022 to 2023 season, we worked as a team to be the best in the area, which we did this with practices outside of the school, and we were intentional with how we took care of our bodies, and we worked to learn what we needed to do to win. We went to Florida and not only accomplished our goal of being one of the best teams in PA, but to win the national championship in 2023 and 2024. We set the same goal, and we knew we couldn't go down to Florida and walk into a championship. We weren't complacent. We worked just as hard as we did in 2022 championship, and we weren't complacent. We worked just as hard. We went down and accomplished our goal of winning consecutive championships. Complacency is something that can sneak up on you. But I've learned that having the mentality of consistency and striving for a goal is what one needs to continually achieve and grow. What does it mean to be disciplined and relentless, and how does it tie into your mentality? Discipline is to be hardworking. Even if you don't want to do something, you do it anyways. For me, it's sometimes I have a long day at school and I don't feel motivated to go to the gym or do homework. But discipline is what brings me to do it. Relentlessness is to keep trying even if it may take time and if you're having lots of trouble. And do not give up on a problem or a dream you are chasing. This can tie into your mentality and how you approach problems that you are having trouble with and may take time to solve or fix. For example, there are many talented people in this world, whether it is athletically, academically. Hard work is what separates them. So this past off-season, I'll go to workouts with older kids to see where I can improve and how I can improve, to see what it's supposed to look like, and then I'll use it in games. What does it mean to be adaptable, and how does that tie into mentality? To be adaptable is to be able to change with problems to find a solution. Like if someone is having trouble in class but isn't paying attention, That's why they don't understand anything, and them being adaptable would be them paying attention in class to learn it or asking for help during study hall. This is how you may approach a challenge and be okay with adapting. My mom adapted to a new learning environment when she enrolled in nursing school, which is the way of thinking and the thought process required for nursing problems is different from what was called for more typical college course, which caused her struggles. To adapt, she learned to work fast on her feet, give maximum effort to pass her classes, and later become a nurse. A growth-seeking mindset. Seeking growth is seeking improvement to solve a problem, to get over an obstacle, or to chase a dream. Even if you know you have a problem with shooting a basketball and you want to be one of the best shooters on your team, with a growth-seeking mindset, you would go put up lots of shots until you got better, and then keep going until it is consistent, and then keep doing it, and eventually you see great amounts of improvement, which could lead you to becoming the top scorer or shooter on your basketball team, and to keep working at it even if you are the best, because that is a growth-seeking mindset. This mindset ties into mentality as how you approach a problem. How mentality can affect your life. Mentality affects your life in many ways, but for the most part, it affects it in problem solving and doing what you are capable of. Which all it takes is the right mentality, and you can do almost anything. Mentality has affected my life in many ways, and one of my traits that go with my mindset is relentless towards my problem. Early in my football season, I was in a slump, and I would overthink everything in my games, which would cause me to often drop the ball in easy plays. What got me out was consistently working hard in practice to overcome this problem, which I eventually did, and haven't dropped the ball for the rest of the season. This is just one example of the many ways mentality can tie into your life.
The Mamba mentality simply means trying to be the best version of yourself. That's what the mentality means. It means every day, you're trying to become better. If your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? Relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4, right? And so now you do that, and as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up.
I would like to end with a quote from Joel Osteen. A victor's mentality becomes a victor's reality, which means with a strong mentality, you can do anything. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that left me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I have been praying for. It's gonna be a bright,
sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright,